Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. If you are hearing my voice, if something in you has been wrestling with questions, with burdens, with battles, there's a reason. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are chosen. But see, being chosen doesn't mean an easy road. It doesn't mean applause, comfort, or luxury. No, no, no. It means responsibility. It means warfare. It means carrying something inside of you that the world doesn't always understand. You've always been different, haven't you? You walk into rooms and feel things others don't. You hear God's whisper when others only hear noise. You can't just go with the crowd because something in you won't let you. That's not an accident. That's not a coincidence. That's a divine mark. But being chosen, it comes with battles. Oh, you will be attacked. People will doubt you. They'll talk about you, misunderstand you, try to pull you down. But listen to me. The enemy does not attack what is not a threat. You are under attack because you are carrying something powerful inside of you. And guess what? You are still standing. You've been through things that should have broken you. You've cried prayers nobody else heard. You've had days where you wanted to quit, but here you are, still moving, still believing, still fighting. That's what a chosen woman of God does. She doesn't crumble. She doesn't bow to pressure. She doesn't let the world define her worth. She knows whose she is. She knows who goes before her, who stands beside her, and who has her back. And let me tell you, favor ain't fair, but it is real. Doors will open that no man can shut. Battles will be won that you didn't even have to fight. Why? Because God fights for his chosen. So I need you to hear me right now. Lift your head. Fix your crown. You are not just another woman in the crowd. You are called. You are set apart. You are a chosen woman of God. Now, walk like it, talk like it, live like it, because the world needs you to step into your destiny. And God has already given you everything you need to do it. Go be great. There is something inside of you that cannot be ignored, a stirring, a pull, a sense that you were created for something more. It's not just ambition, not just a dream. It's a deep calling that tugs at your spirit even when you try to silence it. This calling doesn't come from the world, it comes from above. It's not based on human validation or approval, but on a divine purpose that was placed within you before you even knew who you were. It's why certain things in life don't satisfy you the way they do for others. It's why you can't settle for mediocrity or just go through the motions. There is a weight in your soul, an assignment that refuses to let you stay comfortable. This calling manifests in different ways. Sometimes it shows up as a deep burden for people, a desire to serve, to lead, to heal, to speak truth where others remain silent. Other times it comes as an unrest, a dissatisfaction with staying where you are, because you know deep down that you were made for something greater. It's the reason you don't fit in with certain crowds, why certain doors have closed, why life has pushed you in directions you didn't expect. You may have tried to run from it, tried to deny it, but no matter where you go, it follows you. It's not something you chose, it chose you. And with that calling comes responsibility, a need to walk in alignment with God's will, to sharpen yourself, to prepare for what is ahead. The world may not understand it, people may question it, but deep down, you know it's real. You know you were created for something beyond yourself. There are moments in life when nothing makes sense, when the road ahead is unclear, and when fear whispers that you should turn back. But something inside of you refuses to quit. You move forward, not because you have all the answers, not because everything is perfectly laid out, but because you trust in something greater than yourself. Walking by faith means stepping into the unknown, relying not on what your eyes can see, but on what your spirit knows to be true. It means believing in God's promises even when circumstances suggest otherwise, even when logic tells you it's impossible. Faith demands that you release control, that you surrender your need to understand every detail before taking action. It requires courage to keep moving when the evidence of your breakthrough is nowhere in sight. The world operates on sight. It trusts what it can measure, touch, and predict. But faith operates beyond the limits of human reasoning. It looks at closed doors and still believes a way will be made. It sees obstacles and calls them opportunities. It walks through storms with the confidence that peace is on the other side. This kind of faith is not passive. It requires action. It means praying even when you don't feel like it, showing up even when doubt creeps in, and declaring victory even when defeat seems imminent. It is trusting that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating details that you cannot yet see. When you walk by faith, you are no longer bound by fear. You step forward with boldness, knowing that your steps are ordered, that you are being led by something bigger than yourself, and that no matter what it looks like now, God's plan for you is still unfolding. The weight on your shoulders is not imaginary. The struggles you face are not just coincidences or bad luck. There is a battle happening beyond what the eye can see, a war between light and darkness, and you are caught in the middle because of who you are called to be. The enemy does not waste time attacking those who pose no threat. The opposition you feel, the resistance in your spirit, the constant trials that seem to come out of nowhere, these are not ordinary struggles. They are targeted attacks designed to wear you down, to make you question your purpose, to make you doubt God's promises. Spiritual battles often manifest in different ways. Sometimes they come through external pressures, unexpected hardships, betrayals, loss, and confusion. Other times they come from within, feelings of unworthiness, fear, anxiety, and the temptation to give up. The enemy knows that if he can weaken your spirit, if he can make you feel isolated and powerless, he can slow you down or even stop you from walking in your calling. But every battle has a purpose, and every attack is proof that there is something inside of you worth fighting against. Victory in spiritual warfare does not come from human strength, but from divine power. It requires staying rooted in prayer, filling your mind with truth, and refusing to be shaken by what you see in the natural world. It demands endurance, the ability to keep pushing forward even when you feel like you have nothing left. These battles are not meant to destroy you, but to refine you, to strengthen your faith, to prepare you for the greater things that lie ahead. Every struggle is a sign that you are moving in the right direction, and the enemy knows it. Life has thrown storms your way, but somehow you're still standing. The trials that were meant to break you only made you stronger. There were moments when you felt like giving up, times when the weight of it all seemed unbearable, but something inside of you refused to quit. That is resilience, a strength that cannot be explained by human effort alone. It is not just about surviving, it is about rising, about enduring, about pushing forward when everything around you says you should fall. Resilience is not born out of comfort, but out of struggle. It is forged in the fire of adversity, built in the moments when you had no choice but to keep going. Every disappointment, every setback, every hardship has added another layer to your strength. You have faced battles that should have left you broken, but instead they have refined you. While others may crumble under pressure, you have learned to stand firm. You have discovered that your strength does not come from yourself alone, but from the one who sustains you. There have been seasons when you felt overlooked, underestimated, and even forgotten. But those were the times when your endurance was being tested. The enemy has tried to shake you, but you have remained unmovable. People may wonder how you keep going, how you still find the will to believe, to hope, to fight. What they do not understand is that resilience is not just about willpower. It is about faith. It is about knowing that even in your weakest moments, there is a greater power holding you up. No matter what comes against you, no matter how many times you are knocked down, you rise. You always rise. There is something about you that stands out, something different that people can't quite put into words. It's not about status, talent, or outward appearance. It's something deeper. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. When you speak, people listen. When others are struggling, they come to you for comfort, wisdom, and strength. You don't even have to try, it's just who you are. You carry light, and the world around you can't help but notice. This light isn't something you created on your own. It comes from God, shining through you in ways that go beyond what you can see. It's in the way you love without conditions, in the way you give even when no one is watching, in the way you offer hope to those who have lost it. There have been times when you didn't feel like you had anything to give, yet somehow you still became a source of encouragement for others. Even in your own struggles, you have been a light. Even in moments of uncertainty, your faith has inspired someone else to keep going. Being a light means walking in truth when the world is filled with deception. It means showing grace when others respond with judgment. It means standing firm in who you are, even when people try to dim your shine. Darkness cannot overpower light. It only makes it shine brighter. The enemy has tried to silence you, tried to make you doubt your impact. But the light within you cannot be hidden. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, to lead, to guide, to be a reflection of God's love in a world that desperately needs it. Whether you realize it or not, your presence changes lives. There is an understanding inside of you that goes beyond knowledge, beyond experience, beyond what can be learned in books. It is something placed within you, something that allows you to see what others overlook, to perceive what others miss. You have always had an ability to sense the deeper meaning behind things, to discern truth even when it is hidden beneath layers of confusion. This is not ordinary wisdom. This is divine wisdom, the kind that only comes from God. People come to you for advice, not because you know everything, but because they can feel the depth in your words. You speak with clarity, with conviction, with an understanding that is beyond human reasoning. Even when you are unsure of yourself, even when you feel unqualified, wisdom flows from you in moments when it is needed most. It is not forced, not rehearsed. It is simply there. You find yourself giving counsel, guiding others, offering insight that even you did not expect to have. It is because you are connected to a source greater than yourself, a well of wisdom that never runs dry. This wisdom does not always make life easier. It can be a heavy burden, because seeing things clearly means feeling the weight of what others ignore. It means knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to act and when to wait. It means standing firm in truth even when others reject it. But this wisdom is a gift, a sign that you are being used for something greater. While the world chases after surface-level knowledge, you have been given something deeper, something unshakable. It is not just for you. It is meant to be shared, meant to bring light to those who are lost, meant to guide you in fulfilling the purpose placed on your life. There have been moments in your life when danger was near, when circumstances should have taken you out, when the odds were stacked against you, yet somehow you made it through. Somehow what was meant to harm you did not succeed. There were times when you couldn't explain it, times when you looked back and realized that something, or rather someone, had been watching over you. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is supernatural protection. You have walked through storms that should have drowned you, through fires that should have consumed you, yet you came out untouched. Doors that should have led to destruction were closed before you could enter. Relationships that were meant to break you were removed before they could do more damage. The enemy set traps, yet you kept escaping. You may not have seen the battle, but it was being fought on your behalf. While you were resting, angels were guarding you. While you were unaware, God was moving things in your favor. This protection does not mean life will be free of hardship, but it does mean that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Attacks may come, but they will not destroy you. People may rise against you, but they will not prevail. Even when it feels like everything is falling apart, even when trouble surrounds you, there is a hedge around you that the enemy cannot penetrate. You have seen too much, experienced too much, to believe that you are walking this journey alone. The fact that you are still here, still standing, is proof that supernatural forces have been covering you. You are not just surviving, you are being kept, sustained, and protected by a power greater than anything in this world. There has always been something different about you, something that made you stand out even when you tried to blend in. No matter how much you attempted to fit into certain crowds, certain lifestyles, or certain expectations, something always pulled you in another direction. You have never been able to follow the path that everyone else walks because you were not created for an ordinary life. You were set apart. Being set apart is not always easy. It means walking a road that few understand, making choices that others question, and sometimes standing alone when the world follows the crowd. There have been moments when you felt isolated, when you wondered why relationships faded, why doors closed, why you couldn't seem to settle in places that felt comfortable for others. But what you didn't see at the time was that this was divine separation. God was pulling you away from things that would have distracted you, away from people who would have limited you, away from environments that were never meant to hold someone like you. You have been called for something greater, and that means your process is different. What others get easily, you may have to fight for. Where others compromise, you are called to stand firm. While some take shortcuts, you are required to trust in God's timing. This isn't punishment, it is preparation. You have been given a purpose that requires discipline, strength, and faith. Others may not understand it, but deep down, you know the truth. You were never meant to live like everyone else. You were chosen, marked, and destined for something far beyond what the world can offer. And because of that, you can never go back to being what you were never meant to be. There is something inside you that longs to help, to give, to uplift others, even when no one is watching. You do not serve for recognition or applause. You do it because it is who you are. When others turn away, you step forward. When there is a need, you feel it deeply, as if it is your own. You are not driven by status, power, or personal gain, but by a genuine desire to make a difference in the lives of those around you. This is not weakness, this is strength. This is the heart of a servant, a reflection of God's love working through you. A servant's heart is not about being less than others. It is about being willing to put others before yourself. It is the ability to see beyond your own needs and recognize the burdens that others carry. It means offering a word of encouragement to someone who is struggling, giving when it is inconvenient, and showing kindness even when it is not returned. It means leading with humility, knowing that true greatness is found in service. While the world chases after status, you understand that real impact comes from lifting others up, not elevating yourself. This heart of service is not always easy to carry. It means feeling deeply, caring intensely, and sometimes giving more than you receive. There have been moments when you felt drained, moments when you wondered if your efforts even mattered. But every act of kindness, every moment of selflessness is seen. The love you pour out does not go unnoticed. You were given this heart for a reason, to bring light where there is darkness, hope where there is despair, and to remind the world that true power lies not in being served, but in serving others. There is a voice that speaks to you, one that is not loud or forceful, yet it carries a power that cannot be ignored. It is a voice that cuts through the noise, that whispers in moments of stillness, that tugs at your heart when decisions need to be made. This is not just intuition, not just a feeling. It is the voice of God guiding you, instructing you, and calling you towards something greater. While others may struggle to discern his voice, you hear it clearly. It is not because you are more special, but because you are willing to listen. Hearing God's voice is not always about audible words. Sometimes it is a knowing deep in your spirit, a conviction that cannot be shaken. It is the sudden peace that washes over you when fear tries to take hold. It is the strong urge to walk away from something that looks good but isn't meant for you. It is the sense of direction you receive when everything around you seems uncertain. You have learned that when God speaks, his words bring clarity, not confusion. They bring confirmation, not doubt. Even when what he says challenges you, you know deep down that his guidance is for your good. This ability to hear God does not come without struggle. There have been times when you questioned if it was truly him or just your own thoughts. Times when you had to step out in faith, trusting what you heard even when others did not understand. Yet every time you obeyed, the outcome proved that his voice was leading you correctly. The more you listen, the clearer his voice becomes. You are not just moving through life blindly. You are being directed step by step by the one who knows the way. There is a weight on your heart that you cannot ignore, a deep concern for others that goes beyond casual sympathy. When you see someone hurting, it affects you as if you are feeling their pain yourself. When others are in need, you do not just notice, you feel compelled to act. This is not just kindness or empathy. This is a divine burden, a calling placed within you to care, to intercede, to stand in the gap for those who cannot stand for themselves. This burden shows up in unexpected moments. You find yourself thinking about people long after a conversation has ended. You wake up in the middle of the night feeling the need to pray for someone without knowing why. You see beyond a person's words and recognize the silent struggles they try to hide. Where others might overlook pain, you see it clearly. Where others walk away, you step forward. This is not by accident. God has placed this sensitivity within you because he trusts you to carry it, to use it for his purpose. But carrying this burden is not always easy. There are times when it feels overwhelming, when the weight of the world's pain seems too much to bear. You may have moments where you ask, why do I feel this so deeply? Why do I care so much when others seem unaffected? But what you must understand is that this burden is not meant to break you. It is meant to activate you. It is meant to push you into prayer, into action, into standing in faith for those who cannot stand for themselves. This is a calling, a sign that you are chosen to be a vessel of God's love, a reminder that your compassion is not a weakness, but a divine strength. You have walked through trials that should have consumed you. The fire has been intense, the battle's unrelenting, and yet here you are, standing, breathing, stronger than before. You have faced heartbreak that cut deep, betrayal that shook your trust, and seasons of struggle that made you question if you would ever rise again. Life has tested you in ways that not everyone could endure, but you did not break. You have been through the fire, but you were not destroyed. The fire was never meant to ruin you, it was meant to refine you. Every hardship, every painful moment was shaping you, strengthening you and purifying you for something greater. The process was not easy. There were days when the weight of it all felt unbearable, when you questioned if God was even there. But even in the silence, even in the moments of deep despair, he was working. What was meant to destroy you only made you more resilient. What was meant to silence you gave you a deeper testimony. The fire did not burn you. It burned away everything that was not meant to stay. People look at you and see your strength, but they do not know the cost. They do not know the nights you cried, the prayers you whispered, the moments when you had to fight just to keep going. But God knew. He saw you in the fire and he never left you. He walked with you through it, just as he did with the three in the furnace. You came out different, refined, carrying wisdom and power that only those who have been through the fire can possess. What you survived was not just for you, it was preparing you for the purpose you were always meant to fulfill. You were not placed on this earth by accident. There is something inside of you that no one else carries, a calling that is uniquely yours. From the beginning, there has been a divine plan over your life, a purpose that sets you apart. You may have felt out of place at times, wondering why your path looks different from those around you. You have questioned your journey, comparing it to others, but deep down, you have always known that you were meant for something greater. Your experiences, your struggles, your victories, they were all preparing you for something only you can do. The way you think, the way you see the world, the way you respond to situations, it is not random. Every challenge you have faced, every lesson you have learned has been shaping you for this moment. There is a reason why certain doors closed, why some relationships did not last, why you could not settle for the life others were content with. It is because you were not called to fit in. You were called to fulfill a purpose that is uniquely yours. Purpose is not always obvious. It is often revealed in the moments when you step out in faith, when you trust God even when the path is unclear. It may not look like what you expected, and at times, it may even feel too big for you to handle. But God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Everything you have been through has been part of the preparation, refining you so that when the time comes, you will be ready. There is something in you that the world needs, something that no one else can bring the way you can. Your purpose is not just about you. It is about the lives that will be changed because you chose to walk in it. There is a fire inside of you that refuses to be extinguished. When others doubt, you believe. When fear rises, you stand firm. Your faith is not passive, it is active, unshaken, and unwavering. It is not built on emotions or circumstances, but on a deep, unbreakable trust in God. You do not wait for perfect conditions to step out. You move even when the path is unclear. You have seen too much, experienced too much to waver now. You know that the God who has carried you this far will not fail you. Bold faith is not about having all the answers. It is about believing even when you don't. It is about stepping forward even when the ground beneath you looks uncertain. It is about speaking life in situations where others only see death. You have faced storms that should have broken you, yet you held on. You have endured seasons of silence when it felt like God was distant, yet you kept praying. You have taken risks that made no sense to those around you, yet every time, God showed up. This boldness does not come from arrogance. It comes from knowing who you are and whose you are. You understand that your strength is not your own, that your confidence is not in yourself, but in the one who has never failed you. You do not shrink back when challenges arise because you know the battles you face are already won. People may call it reckless, but you call it faith. They may question your confidence, but you know it is not in vain. The faith inside of you is not ordinary. It is the kind that moves mountains, the kind that walks on water, the kind that refuses to back down no matter what stands in the way. There is something different about the way you move, the way you speak, the way you impact those around you. It is not just talent, not just intelligence. It is something deeper, something supernatural. You have been given gifts that cannot be explained by human ability alone. Whether it is wisdom that flows effortlessly, discernment that reveals hidden truths, healing that comes through your prayers, or words that bring comfort and transformation, you operate in a power that is beyond yourself. These are not skills you learned or abilities you developed on your own. They are spiritual gifts, placed within you by God for a purpose greater than yourself. There have been moments when you felt something stir inside you, moments when you spoke, acted, or prayed, and things shifted in ways you could not explain. You have seen the evidence of these gifts at work, even when you were not fully aware of them. They show up in the way you naturally encourage others, in the way your presence brings peace to those in distress. These gifts are not meant to be hidden, not meant to be ignored. They were given to you to be used. Operating in spiritual gifts is not always easy. There are times when you have doubted yourself, when you have hesitated to step forward, when you have questioned whether what you feel is real. But the gifts inside of you are not random, and they are not for your benefit alone. They are meant to bring light, healing, and direction to those around you. You were entrusted with these gifts because God knew you would use them well. The more you walk in them, the stronger they become. The more you trust them, the more lives you will impact. Standing firm in your faith comes with a price. You have experienced rejection, opposition, and misunderstandings, not because of who you are, but because of what you believe. You have chosen a path that does not conform to the world, and because of that, you have faced resistance. People have questioned your convictions, mocked your faith, and even distanced themselves from you simply because you refuse to compromise. The attacks do not always come in obvious ways. Sometimes they come through isolation, through pressure to conform, through the quiet dismissal of your values. But despite it all, you stand. You have learned that following God wholeheartedly means not everyone will understand you. There have been times when you felt alone, when you wondered why standing for truth seemed to bring more opposition than favor. You have faced moments when speaking what you believe cost you relationships, opportunities, and acceptance. But deep down, you know that your faith is not for sale. You cannot turn away just to make life easier because you have already experienced too much of God's power to deny it now. The attacks are not just personal, they are spiritual. The enemy does not fight what does not threaten him. And the fact that you have been attacked is proof that your faith is strong, that your purpose is real. The world may try to silence you, but your voice is meant to be heard. The pressure may try to break you, but your foundation is unshakable. The more opposition you face, the more you realize that your faith is not weak, it is resilient. No matter what comes against you, you refuse to bow, refuse to be moved, because you know that the one who called you is greater than anything that stands in your way. Everything you do flows from a place of love. It is not about recognition, applause, or proving yourself. It is about serving, uplifting, and honoring God in all that you do. While the world chases status and validation, your motivation is different. You are not driven by the need to be seen, but by the desire to make an impact. You are not moved by pride, but by purpose. When you give, you do not expect anything in return. When you help, it is not for credit, but because it is who you are. There is a humility in the way you move. You do not seek to be the loudest voice in the room, yet your presence carries weight. You do not boast about your sacrifices, yet they speak for themselves. People may not always recognize the love that drives you, but you do not need them to. You understand that true service does not require a spotlight. It is found in the quiet moments. When you pray for others in secret, when you extend kindness with no agenda, when you forgive even when no apology comes. Ego seeks to be lifted up, but love seeks to lift others. Ego demands attention, but love focuses on the needs of those around you. Ego seeks control, but love surrenders to God's plan. It is not that you do not have moments of struggle, moments where pride tries to rise. But love always brings you back. Love reminds you why you started, why you continue, why you refuse to quit. The impact you make is not measured by titles or accolades, but by the hearts you touch, the lives you change, and the light you carry. You do not serve for yourself. You serve because love has called you to do so. You do not just see what is in front of you, you see beyond. While others get caught up in the temporary, in the distractions, in the struggles of the moment, you keep your eyes fixed on something greater. You understand that every challenge, every delay, every obstacle is part of a bigger plan. When difficulties arise, you do not panic like those who lack vision. You trust, you wait, you move with wisdom. There is something inside you that knows that what is happening now is not the end of the story. This perspective sets you apart. Where others see failure, you see growth. Where others see rejection, you see redirection. Where others see struggle, you see preparation. It is not that you do not feel the weight of hardship, but you refuse to let it define you. You know that every season serves a purpose, that nothing is wasted in God's hands. Even in moments of uncertainty, you walk forward because you understand that what God is building in you is bigger than what is happening around you. Seeing the bigger picture also means you do not live for yourself alone. You recognize that your life is not just about your own success, but about the impact you are meant to have on others. You see how your words, your actions, your faith influence those around you. You understand that what you do today shapes tomorrow. You are not distracted by what is temporary because you are focused on what is eternal. Even when things do not go the way you planned, you trust that there is a purpose behind it. You do not just live for the moment, you live for the mission. You do not just react to life, you rise above it. Your steps are not random. The places you go, the people you meet, the conversations you have, none of it is by chance. There is a divine orchestration at work in your life, aligning you with the right opportunities, the right encounters, and the right moments. You have experienced it before, crossing paths with someone who needed exactly what you had to give, speaking words of encouragement that felt like they were meant for that person at just the right time. These are not coincidences. They are divine appointments set up by God long before you arrived. People are drawn to you not because of who you are, but because of what you carry. There is a light in you that attracts those who are searching, those who are hurting, those who need direction. Sometimes you may not even realize the impact you have, but God is using you in ways beyond what you can see. You have found yourself in situations where you just happened to be in the right place at the right time. You have encountered individuals whose words shifted your perspective, who opened doors for you that you did not even knock on. These moments are not luck, they are part of God's greater plan. Divine appointments are not always convenient. They may interrupt your schedule, stretch your faith, or take you out of your comfort zone. But every time you follow that nudge in your spirit, every time you choose to listen, to obey, to be present, something powerful happens. The more you walk in alignment with God, the more these moments seem to find you. You do not have to force opportunities or chase after connections. What is meant for you will always be drawn to you because God Himself is ordering your steps. No matter where life takes you, no matter how lonely the road may seem, you are never truly alone. There have been moments when you felt isolated, when it seemed like no one understood your struggles, but even in those times, God was right there. He has walked with you through the valleys, stood with you in the storms, and carried you when you did not have the strength to move forward. Even when you could not feel Him, He was working. Even when others abandoned you, He remained. You have seen His hand in the quiet moments, in the unexpected breakthroughs, in the peace that came when you should have been overwhelmed. The world may turn its back, people may walk away, but God never does. He has surrounded you with His presence, His protection, and His guidance. Every step you take, He is leading you. Every battle you face, He is fighting for you. The strength you have, the resilience you carry, it is not just your own. It comes from knowing that you are held by something greater than yourself. Walking with God does not mean you will not face hardships, but it does mean you will never face them alone. His presence is not dependent on your feelings. It is a promise that remains unshaken. When doubt creeps in, when fear tries to take over, you can rest in the truth that He is right there beside you. You do not have to carry the weight of life by yourself. You are covered, surrounded, and sustained by His love. You are never forsaken, never forgotten, never left to figure it out on your own. Wherever you go, whatever you face, you are always walking with Him. You were never meant to live an ordinary life. Every trial, every victory, every moment of doubt and faith has been shaping you into the woman God has called you to be. You are chosen, set apart, and equipped for a purpose greater than yourself. The battles you have faced were not meant to break you, but to prepare you. The faith you carry is not just for you, but for those who will be impacted by your obedience. Now is not the time to shrink back. Now is not the time to question whether you are enough. You have been through the fire and have come out refined. You have been tested and have remained standing. The calling on your life is not small, and neither is the God who walks with you. The world may not always understand you, but heaven recognizes you. The enemy may try to silence you, but your voice carries authority. Keep walking, keep believing, keep standing firm. What is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you. You are not just any woman. You are a chosen woman of God, anointed to make a difference, empowered to bring light into the darkest places. You do not need permission to step into your purpose. You do not need validation from the world to know you are called. You were made for this, and nothing can stop what God has already set in motion. Stand boldly, move forward, and walk in the power of who you are. The world needs you, but more importantly, God has called you, and when God calls, nothing can stand in the way.